All right, and we are live, folks. Welcome to the new studio. It's like Shangri-La in here, if you haven't seen it yet. Check out my nice dark background. Yeah, we don't have a green screen yet, but it's going to happen. So without further ado, here comes the normal videos that you've all come to expect. So we're looking at Sunspot 2741 here mainly, as Sunspot 2740 sets. And solar activity drops back down, although we are awaiting also another coronal mass ejection to hit the planet. Or I should say hit the magnetosphere. So that is on the way, folks. And before we get into that, we're going to cover a lot of other things. Let's look at some other views, such as 171 angstroms. There's a view at 171, and this is 7.5 hours of solar activity. The latest 7.5 hours, I might add, as we come out with stuff a little bit quicker than mostly everybody else. And basically what we do on this channel is we just share the same information that I look at every day anyway. So I figured I would share it with friends and family, and I guess some viewers like it as well. There's a 304 angstroms view. Not a lot going on regarding filaments. And let's look at magnetic lines at 94 angstroms. There's a pretty high res view, the most recent. And we still do see some open field lines there north of Sunspot 2741 in this area. Let us know in the comments what you think of the new circular bullseye system, which is a Windows setting instead of EpicPen. Because, hey, it's essentially screen pollution to have all that purple stuff on there. Now let's talk cycling. Veloshop.net is the cycling team. If you're thinking about sponsoring the cycling team, team captain is Becky Quinn, also the owner of the shop. And then you've also got Kim Geist, current world champion jersey wearer for the Team Sprint. I believe it is Team Sprint. Or it might be the Team Pursuit. I think it's actually Team Pursuit. Anyway, she's a current world champion wearer, and she is also on the U.S. national team and is a member of the U.S. women's Olympic long team, as well as Becky. So those are the main folks. Also Kim Zubris. She's also part of that world champion. And that's a current world champion, folks, in the Team Pursuit, I believe it is, which is a track event, a track time trial. So if you're interested in sponsoring the team, especially sending corporate sponsors our way, please email me at smashomash@gmail.com. We're looking to bring in all kinds of businesses and put them on the jerseys for the next year or two. Also, thanks those folks who are sponsoring me directly. I am on that same team, by the way. I will look like the Velo Shop if you see me at a race, or if you see me on the road, don't run me over. I always wear the same gear, not this plain stuff. This was for a specific reason. Probably that I couldn't wear team gear that day for whatever reason. I don't remember why. Sometimes there are clothing restrictions. Anyway, let's move on here. Follow us on Instagram, also instagram.com/smashomash. Here's my most recent photo, some rhododendrons. And that is backyard, yes. We just trimmed the area around there, and they are going to bloom big time this year. Also, thanks donors. We only got to raise $5,455 more by June 1st. So we're punching up a little bit on this station, or you could say a lot. You could definitely say a lot, because we're doing a lot of things that we can't afford. So check us out on Patreon and help us afford those things. Also, we've begun the process of starting a nonprofit organization. Check out smASho.org. The mission is to assist, study, and report on the ongoing formation of a unified theory of physics, to raise the awareness of the general public of the relationship between space, weather, and Earth effects, to connect and to consult with media organizations and multiply our reach, to demonstrate cutting-edge proof of concept solutions to problems, to publish scientific papers in a multidisciplinary manner, including but not limited to the sciences you see on the screen, and to assist mankind by studying the predictive phenomenon in order to optimize value, reduce risk and liability, save lives and resources, and adapt no matter what the adversity is, and to not be ossified in our beliefs, and to treat those who are with love, respect, and inclusion to the scientific discussion, no matter if they're an idiot, a moron, or an imbecile. And that's not to say that they are, but some certainly are. Otherwise, they would have open minds. All right, so here's the real-time solar wind. And we see a phi angle of 337. That's a good sign for earthquakes, as it's not riding the 180 mark. We see a highly positive BZ right there. And we're going to look at how the north polar field is acting. We also see a very high BZ, so magnetic fields are turned on right now. And solar wind densities dropped down drastically from where it was yesterday, but still a little bit elevated at 11 protons per cubic centimeter, and the solar wind speed 429 kilometers per second. 10.7 centimeter radial flux is back down to 75, I think. And there are your predicted values denoted by the red line. We're going to start to get into visual references here pretty seriously, folks. So if you're not looking at the screen, I suggest you do. And we've got a cosmic ray balloon article on spaceweather.com. And a crystal moon ball in the stratosphere. Yes, they sell space souvenirs here also, folks. So if you're interested in space souvenirs, there's your source, spaceweather.com. Check out spaceweathernews.com also. Ben Davidson's site, as he's compiled a bunch of data in the same place. So, see, the X-ray flux has now dropped below a nominal B level. As we saw a couple days ago, it was just hovering over the B level as the sunspots begin to not face Earth. Those sunspots are both alpha sunspots now, and there's a magnetometer, and this is going to remain in a fluctuating mode here. You're not going to see smooth lines here for another day or two, probably. And the KP has dropped back down to 2 from where it was at 7 yesterday. A significant geomagnetic storm, and we covered it right as it hit. It's not a coincidence. Let's look at the Cygnet's Enlil spiral here. And this is showing from the 23rd or so. I mean, until the 23rd or so, so 10 days, the 13th through the 23rd. And this is a model based on a lot of measurements from a lot of different spacecraft, some of which you can see on the spiral here. And we are still waiting for data from the Parker Solar Probe. I think maybe a lot of people are confused about the data. I'm not sure if any has been released at all yet. If anybody knows anything about Parker Solar Probe data, please leave a comment, as I may not research it today. Or I may, who knows? Anyway, we are expecting another coronal mass ejection to hit tomorrow, as noted on that. Some models say the 17th, some models say tomorrow. And so it does look similar as far as I'm aware, so we would not be surprised to see another 5, 6, or 7 on the KP index. So electron flux has dropped back down to more normal levels here, as they were pretty high, and we see the charging hazards have diminished to about nothing. And the F2 layer is looking a little bit anomalous there, a little bit charged on the nighttime side still, as there's a lot of plasma out there. And let's move on. The Space Weather Enthusiast dashboard, we'll look at the LASCO C3 here. And no real coronal mass ejections visible on that. Nothing to look at on the X-ray imager there. And we'll look at the WSA Enlil prediction here. Similar to the other spiral that we watched. So it looks like, yeah, this one's predicting late in the day tomorrow the arrival of the second CME, and it looks less direct Earth facing according to this model. So there's the data on that. I would also note that we see this area of low density behind each CME. So that's going to cause additional fluctuations if that's a correct implication there, as the CME will cause the plasma to bunch up as it heads down the interplanetary magnetic field. Auroras have shut down mostly. Let's move on and look at the electron. Whoops. Let's look at the total electron content. This is a forecast. So we're expecting pretty nominal levels here. Everybody's GPSs should be working pretty normally, if not a little above average, as we see a bit of a lower electron flux than we've seen in the past couple of days. Now, on the Gong 2, we're going to look at the line of sight field plot here, because there is something of note here, and it is how the sunspot is affecting that green portion of the field you see there. And that's largely what's responsible for the BZ angle that we see on the solar wind. If you're not aware, this is the sun's north Z field. The north polar field is the Z field, the south field down here. And then the B field, which is the one on which you live, this blue field here. That is the B field. And here ends today's magnetohydrodynamics lesson. We'll look at the top view ecliptic plane also, as this is the view that our viewers are used to. And this is as if you're looking down the north Z field of the sun. And you can see the sunspot is affecting the earthly portion of that green field there, and that's the explanation of the perturbations in the ghost magnetometer. At least we have data from both spacecraft. Next, we'll look at solar ham. It looks like sunspot 2740 has lost its designation. Let's make sure we're updated here. Oh yeah, that's legit. All right. So this is now broken into 3. Small umbrae and some chance of complexity forming back in this region here. There is a little bit of opposing field there. You can see this little spot here. And if an opposing field does form there, may get a little bit of flaring out of this yet, but likelihood of flaring is dropping as that umbra splits apart. Whoops. I'm hitting wrong buttons today. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't navigate. Oh, where am I? Oh, okay, that's where I am. Jeez. I forgot which galaxy, folks. If we have any viewers from M87 or M31 out there, leave a comment. Anyway, here's a location of the planets and so forth. And there they are 7 days from now, despite 8 clicks. Got to get a new mouse, folks. I need a mouse with a cord because I don't trust the latency of this cordless mouse anymore. It sucks. Anyway, there's a location of where stuff will be as we creep up on Jupiter. You should be able to see it throughout most of the night. And if you get up before dawn, you should be able to see it on the ecliptic. Let's look at stereo A. And here's the most recent data out of that. And it's taken a while to load, folks. We have still not gotten our new internet connection. Somebody's dropped the ball. Although this is not due to the internet connection, this is server side. And so we do see a bit of a plasma extension there. It's not really facing in an earthly direction. It's kind of facing to the south of the interplanetary magnetic field line. Let me just attempt to show you what I mean here. You see this persistent feature. This could still flare, although I don't think it's associated with that sunspot. So anyway, that's nothing to really note. Let's move on. Anyway, like I said, if you get up before dawn, you should be able to see Jupiter and Saturn on the ecliptic. The moon has just risen. If you're watching live, well, then it's real time. Oh my gosh, what's happened? And we're going to look at the magnetosphere movies as we do most days. And we should see a bit of relaxation compared to how this looked yesterday. As we did the live stream during a KP7. This is going to show you 4 hours of data, folks. I'm sure there'll probably be some new viewers. And here's a little music during this section, as it is quite long, as we archive data. As we attempt to archive data. Let's see if any of the other ones are playing. And nope. All right, so here's the velocity. I got to turn off my tooltips, folks. I got to go into Windows settings, turn off my tooltips. See that? That's annoying. It does encourage me to keep the arrow off the screen, though, so that's something. Here's a density. Again, this is 4 hours of data, and you cannot access this unless you screen rip it yourself somehow. I'm not aware of any sites that archive all of this data. Somebody should archive the data. I guess I could do it on smASho.com. We will consider it. Perhaps University of Michigan would appreciate the service. I don't think they're too big, depending on the format that we use. So here's pressure. Again, that's 4 hours. And it's a quite detailed view if you want to see how this is created. Just look up the Space Weather Modeling Framework, which is linked below these magnetosphere movies, which are linked in the description below this YouTube video. And let's move on to the ground perturbations, as these should be a little chilled out versus yesterday also. Going to look at the globe and the poles. And this one loaded like a champ. All right, perfect. Anyway, let me shrink that down one little size. There we go. So we still see Birkeland current-like prints on both poles. as Birkeland currents go right through the planet. Believe it or not. And here's the globe. Major relaxation of those major perturbations that we saw yesterday. And stay tuned, folks, because in just a minute, we're going to talk about fatal fudge factors and fame, fortune, and funding. But before we do that, we're going to bypass cosmic rays. We're going to bypass Zooniverse.org because we have a lot of things to talk about today. Thrills, chills, maybe even baby dills. Check us out on facebook.com/smASho, as we do post stuff there. Don't interact very much because we don't like the platform. The platform has, is that too vulgar? The platform has some issues. Okay, the platform has a lot of issues. Also, check us out on Twitter, another platform with a lot of issues. Also, check us out on minds.com, a platform lacking issues, as it uses open source software, doesn't spy on you, and gives you grassroots everything for all of your views. It doesn't try to get bribes to place you higher on search results, and it certainly will not use Google as a verb. Check us out on SoundCloud if you like the music. There's some oddities there that you may enjoy, as well as soundclick.com/GoldenCatProductions. That's soundclick.com/GoldenCatProductions. And the song you're currently hearing is not available here, I don't think. Although you could purchase Blacksmith for 99 cents and add it to your MP3 collection. We're going to shut down Winamp, and we're going to shut that down. And we're going to bring out the chat, because we're just going to get straight up reckless. Just kidding, YouTube. We would never get reckless. Reckless is bad, and we will obey all of the rules. And accidentally click on things, closing down work that we just did. Try that again. Don't create feedback loops in your software by running videos that you're streaming. It doesn't work well. All right, and we've got the chat out now. So let's move on to an article on Watchers about the giant earthquake that probably caused a tsunami yesterday. A downgraded 7.7 earthquake, which has been downgraded by the USGS to a 7.5, hits New Britain, Papua New Guinea. And we see information about how tsunamis may have been generated. Not exactly sure on that. If anybody has any updates, please leave a comment. Overall, the population in the region resides in structures that are a mix of vulnerable and earthquake-resistant construction. So there's some buildings probably crumbled. And recent earthquakes have caused secondary hazards such as tsunamis and landslides. So hoping everybody's doing okay over there. That earthquake happened quite a while ago. About 20 hours, I guess. So hopefully the aftermath is going well. Here we see a 4.5 in Alaska and a 4.7 in Japan. That Alaskan quake was at depth. So if you're in the Aleutian Islands, why are you there? It's crazy. It's like, I guess it's pretty awesome though. I would go on vacation. Yes, I am able to operate in crazy conditions, folks. Crazy conditions. 4.7 in Japan. 5.2 at New Zealand. Shout out New Zealand. That one looks like it's awfully close to the shore, if not onshore. Holla, New Zealand, if you felt that one. Did you feel it? There's a location. Let's go back. Looks like a major uptick in earthquakes yesterday, folks. 7.5 at Papua New Guinea, as we stated. Also a 5.0 aftershock. At least that 7.5 was at the surface, folks. Perhaps a real release of pressure there, if that's even the way earthquakes work. Here's a 5.0 at Papua New Guinea. Again, probably not generating a tsunami. And this is just the latest tsunami statement at tsunami.gov. And it looks like the tsunami threat has passed. So that's a good thing. Jeez. 4.5 at depth at Nicaragua. Not good news for South America and Central America. 5.0 at Easter Island. What a weird place that is. Considered to be one of the most desolate places in the entire world. 4.7 at Papua New Guinea. As the swarm continues, here's a 5.7 at Russia. And that looks very close to Japan. Shikotan, Russia. It even sounds like Japan. Check it out. There's a location of that one. Closest major city, Sapporo. The city that brews the beer with the steel cans. All right. Geez. Pretty significant uptick yesterday, folks. There's a 4.9 off of Baja, Mexico, it looks like. Here's a 4.3 at Greece. Excuse me. Another 4.7 at Papua New Guinea. 4.7 at Japan. Here's a 2.5 at Volcano. And that's not the volcano. There's a town called Volcano. Here's a 4.4, 39 kilometers south of Cinnabung. A very scary volcano. Here's a 4.8 at Papua New Guinea, a 5.4 at Japan, the largest one there in a bit. Let's move on to the volcanoes. Actually, let's look at how hot the planet is. Look at how hot the planet is, folks. Let's check the snow depth here. Oh, more than 5 meters. Let's check the snow depth here. More than 5 meters. Let's check the snow depth at Denver. No, check the snow depth, Wendy. Wendy, I'm going to check your oil, Wendy. Hey, what's the deal here? Oh my gosh. Anyway, Wendy's got a great mobile app, folks. Highly recommended. As you can even tell it to show you things that you want to see and not this nonsense. You just click on over here, you click on one of these ellipses, and then you bring up stuff like, oh, I don't know, radar and lightning. And check it out. It's freaking awesome. Shout out Denver. Report on the snow depth. Oh, man. Why doesn't it work? You son of a... Hey, Wendy, what are you trying to do? Obfuscate the truth? What are you trying to do? Tell people the planet's burning up? Like literally burning up? You telling people that, Wendy? What's the deal? Oh my gosh, the planet is so hot that it's cold. Here we go. Here's snow depth. Yeah, that's a good one. How about a little snow depth? Oh, Denver, you are slacking. You got nothing, according to Windy. What is it right here? 43.3 inches. What's the date today, folks? May 15th? Just checking. All right, let's get off this subject entirely as I zoom in on Greenland, which has more than 9 feet of snow from coast to coast. Before we talk about morons, talk about volcanoes, such as Tacona, which is producing a 7,000-foot plume, Fuego, producing a 15,000-foot plume, and Sabancaya, something that you should probably not try to do a backflip over, as it's producing a 27,000-foot sporadic puff emission, which sounds like quite an explosive sporadic puff at 27,000 feet. I wouldn't recommend playing hopscotch over the caldera either. Here's a US Doppler radar, and it's still snowing in northern Maine. And it's still snowing near Tahoe. Also some heavy storms in Missouri and Illinois. Look at a water vapor map just for defecations and belly laughter. Where did that statement come from? I never figured it out. And let's speed that up, as we've got a lot of viewers that have short attention spans. There's a US water vapor map. And man, my phone keeps locking itself. Not cool. Not cool. All right, let's bring out the chat. I guess it's not that. Must be this. There we go. Thanks for joining, everybody. Krellborn and Harry and Spray and Play. Yes, I make the music, Spray and Pray. The tiger bike? Are you making fun of the tiger bike? Don't make fun of the tiger bike, man. It's like the Siegfried and Roy white tiger paint job. It's ridiculous. Very Italian handmade paint job-ish. Non-existent edition. It's not a limited edition. It's a non-existent edition. Eating a steak for the first time in 3 weeks. That's cool. Saute mushrooms and cream sauce with bacon and onion. Carbonara pasta. That sounds amazing. Man, we made this chicken in the air fryer last night. Dude, let me recommend air fryers to all you viewers out there. Air fryer. Oh my gosh. It will replace half of your kitchen. Half of your kitchen replaced. You could probably do everything just with an air fryer and a microwave, folks. And the way, if you like stuff like wings but you want to make it healthy without using a deep fryer, good Lord. You can't go to a grocery store without hearing people talk about them. My mom got us one for Christmas, and for that, we thank you. Nice job, Mothra. The best kitchen utensil that we own is the air fryer. Takes up very little space. You just have to make sure the fan is pointed in an appropriate way. Don't point the fan like in your cupboard or something, because it'll create moisture. Anyway, there's a water vapor map, and looks like we're in for some lovely weather in Pennsylvania today. Shout out to the Lehigh Wheelman Association. National Weather Service, there's your watches and warnings. Check out weather.gov if you're worried about vultures. Like certain vultures, which are useful creatures, which are good for the environment because they prey on carrion, which isn't even really prey. They're considered a bird of prey, but They only eat carrion. They don't prey on the ignorant brain dead like some politicians. How about fame, fortune, and funding? How about graft and overreach? How about the porkiest bills you could possibly imagine? How about not waiting for Congress to act and not understanding the role of government in the first place? A local airhead wondered how come people that used to be so cool are now conservative. And it's because we've been against larger government the whole time. The reason we were anti-government in the late 80s and early 90s is because the government was trying to censor things like music. For instance, 2 Live Crew. We don't like when the government tries to overreach, so anybody that wants to expand its size and scope is not appreciated. That means you, Bernie, don't like you at all, because you're a hack. And so we encourage our viewers to understand the difference between their ass and a hole in the ground. We're talking about mules here, folks, mules. And I'm not sure where this one is, but I'm pretty sure that might be a gateway to hell. So I don't know how it opened. It looks shockingly round. I believe it is a sinkhole that is very deep. I don't even think I would stand that close to that thing. I would go to a different town, especially if it is a gateway to hell. Speaking of gateways to hell, Bill Nye is an evil moron in search of fame, fortune, and funding. The problem is his fatal fudge factor, in that he does not know what the hell he is talking about. Now, I like John Oliver. I think John Oliver is pretty funny. But I think Bill Nye is an idiot. Now, Bill Nye is a leftist, so we disagree on government. The thing is, I get the jokes. John Oliver's jokes are jokes. Bill Nye's jokes are lies. So, Bill Nye, the nonsense guy, is going to make a complete fool of himself. Beware of harsh language, as Bill Nye sounds really dumb. Let's play it.
Boris. Here, I've got an experiment for you. Safety glasses on. By the end of this century, if emissions keep rising, the average temperature on Earth could go up another 4 to 8 degrees.
Now, I would like to pause it there and note that Antarctica formed while the planet was 3 degrees Celsius warmer than it is right now. Please continue on, you moron.
What I'm saying is the planet's on fucking fire. There are a lot of things we could do to put it out. Are any of them free? No.
Now, he's suggesting that we could use a fire extinguisher or a bucket of ice to put the planet out, which is on fire, because he's a moron. And he's outright lying to you. And that is his fatal fudge factor. It's not physically fatal. It's just fatal to his reputation. Because he's an idiot. Please continue, moron. And we invite you, moron, to be on the show. I'll stop calling you a moron now. Bill Nye.
No, of course not. Nothing's free, you idiots. Grow the fuck up. You're not children anymore. I didn't mind explaining photosynthesis to you when you were 12, but you're adults now, and this is an actual crisis. Got it? Safety glasses off, motherfuckers.
This guy knows about as much about earth science as Neil deGrasse Tyson knows about astronomy. So please tune into our channel, as we're not going to hit you with any BS. We're going to show you actual data. And also follow our recommended channels, if you like. smASho at YouTube. That's youtube.com/smASho. If you've got ideas for additional content or you'd like to be on the show, email me, smashomash@gmail.com. Let's look at climate change over the past 15,000 years to see how hot the planet is. Here's how hot it was during the Minoan War. about 3 degrees Celsius warmer than it is now. And here's the current global warming, which isn't, yeah, I guess over the last 15,000 years, the planet's warming, folks. Have you ever heard of a Milankovitch cycle? If not, I suggest you look it up. Here's the current sea ice thickness. There you go. Oh, the planet's effing burning up, folks. Come on, Bill Nye. We invite you onto the show, Bill Nye. I will not call you a moron. I'll be nice. Here's climate change over the past 542 million years. And here's temperature versus CO2. All the way back to the Precambrian epoch. Now, I don't know why there's no time scale on this one. I think I might have opened the wrong one there. There we go. And for some reason that doesn't view correctly. We'll just view it on this, on DuckDuckGo's image viewer. As we don't use Google to search for stuff, as they are a political hack organization who shakes down content creators to get listed higher on search results, which is about as objective as Bill Nye is about science. So check it out. If you use Google to search for stuff for science, you should probably stop. And you should probably start using a VPN. Just saying. Anyway, there's temperature versus carbon dioxide. And if you think carbon dioxide is the climate control knob for this planet's temperature, you are deeply disturbed. Here's an interesting article on phys.org about Bristol academic cracking the Voynich code, solving century-old mystery of medieval text. I'm not going to tell you about it. I'm just going to scroll down real slow like this, so you can read it right on our YouTube channel if you like. Again, located at phys.org in the other sciences / other section. How about that? We will not put links in the description, as you can find that yourself. Small hardy planets most likely to survive death of their stars. Now, I don't believe in gravitational star collapse, as stars are made of condensed matter, just like you. So don't be made of hot air, folks. Don't be made of hot air. Now we're going to give out one more little additional bonus feature at the end of this video, the recipe for the electrolyte beverage. Also, if you like to play video games, install Enemy Territory. We are resurrecting the clan, and check it out. I played Minas Tirith yesterday. If you follow this player, you'll get alerts when I play, and you can come try to shoot me, which won't work out well for you, but we invite you to try anyway. Let's look at more data, and I mean solar. And we are up to 8 hours of data, folks. So let's break out the 193 angstroms view. Shout out Ben Davidson if you're watching. I don't think you are, but if you are, shout out anyway. There's your favorite view. Mine will always be 171. Yes, R. Sanchez. It's very true, R. Sanchez. It's very true. There are various projects to build home-based cosmic ray monitors. There are ones to use old cell phones as cosmic ray monitors, and we are looking at putting in these things all around the world. So yes, that is a real thing. Now let me share this this recipe. I'm going to put it in the comments too, so people have it in writing. Here's my It's my homemade electrolyte slash energy beverage. So this one isn't just electrolyte. This one has a little bit of carbs in it. So I'm going to type the whole thing out, and then I'm going to state it aloud. "16 ounces of water, kosher salt, non-iodized, agave nectar, basically to taste, lime juice." That's it. Very simple homemade electrolyte energy beverage. If you want more energy, put more agave nectar. Just keep in mind, if you're doing really strenuous activity, or if it's really hot, you want to have less sugar, because the less sugar you have in there, the higher Brix ratio. Also, we want the lime juice, preferably fresh squeezed. And that does add additional electrolyte viability because of chlorides, I believe it is. There are some chlorides in the lime oil or something like that. Anyway, the lime juice increases the absorption of the electrolyte. You can add other electrolytes in addition to the kosher salt, but this is just a simple one that practically everybody can make. And you can substitute a little bit of sugar for the agave nectar. So this would work great in a water bottle for a long bike ride. Yes, that's true, Harry. You can use acetic acid. You can also use you can consume a little bit of baking soda before a heavy effort. That has effects on blood acidity. We're not going to get into that because this is just a simple recipe. And we've got to get out of here. So how about one more view of the sun? And we are going to call it a day, as this one got kind of long, but there was a lot of stuff to talk about. So thanks for viewing, everybody. Thanks especially donors. We're going to look at the 94 angstroms view to get maximum temporal resolution. Yes. So anyway, there's the last 8 hours of solar activity at 94 angstroms. So after this coronal mass ejection that we're going to see tomorrow, we're expecting low levels of activity. Again, there's not a lot going on, folks. So thanks for tuning in. Possibly another video coming out today. And remember, when you're staring at the sun, don't drink. And if you drink, stare at the sun anyway. Just don't drive. And since it'll never be now again, may the solar wind be at your back and the atherosclerosis absent from your veins.